Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm using the Felicity Jane kit on a title on a layout called Finally. I'm using this surfing picture of me that I took from a screen print from a video that one of our instructors has taken of me surfing last week. So I'm starting with a white background and I decided I'm gonna do I think that's a 3-inch border just on the left hand side. Yeah, that is 3 inches, and I'm going to use that pink striped. And now I'm trying to look for another border to put across there. I'm looking through all the sheets. Now remember, I have double of the sheets. They usually just come with one of each design, but I purchased an extra paper pack so that I could have the sheets. I'm looking through the different papers, looking at all the different strips, and trying to decide which one I'm going to use. And I decide to use the black wonky scallops. Now I just fussy cut this, and the reason I decided on this black border, wonky border, is because the other strips had white in it and also another pale color, and I wanted to do a little bit of a contrast. So I fussy cut through this and then put that down onto the side right next to the pink stripe border that I did on the left hand side. This fussy cutting is pretty easy. What you have to remember is to keep your elbows still, and you're supposed to be moving the scallops and keeping your scissors straight, but I do a little bit of both. That's just a little trick for you folks. If you just move the scallop piece of paper, it should come out pretty good. Now I'm laying that down using my rolling adhesive, and I have the repositional one, as you can see. I always make mistakes, and so I like to have adhesive that is repositionable. I put that down and then I look for what I'm going to do next. I take my picture and I think, okay, where am I going to put this picture? Am I going to put it on the top left or the top right? I mean top left or bottom left. And of course I fight with my ATG gun again. I'm looking through the papers again, trying to decide what kind of a border I'm going to have around the picture so I can map the picture. I'm pulling aside ones that I think I might be able to use. It's that green leaf one. Also, I think maybe I could use the yellow paper, and I also think I could use the pink. And I'm decide on the pink for color on color contrasting. I put that down, and you'll see that I only put adhesive more towards the middle and not on the edges. And that's so that later on I can put dimensional stickers behind there to give it more dimension and depth. I decide to use this wonky stripe pattern also, and I use that to layer. Then I decide I'm going to put that mint green also behind, but this one I'm bordering the whole entire picture instead of just a piece of it. Layering is easy when you have pieces of scraps, but since this is a brand new kit for me, the Shay kit, I have to cut up pieces of paper. Now this yellow paper I decide I want to put in as another layer, but I want the green to still show. And I'm trying to figure out how to cut that in just the right size so that I can have it behind the pink but in front of the green, and yet the green, mint green, still showing. You'll see I'll fuss with this for a little bit, and excuse my head there. I think I got it where I want it, so then I put the adhesive down again towards the middle, and I decide that I'm going to lay this towards the bottom. Now you'll see that the picture of me surfing intersects with the black scallop because that's how the eye will find that pleasing. Now I'm working on a title and I decide on the word finally. This is because I have not surfed since I had kids, or I got pregnant with my first child 14 years ago, and my friends finally convinced me to take a surf camp with them to get back into surfing, and I'm so glad that I finally decided to do that, do something for myself. I'm putting the title just on top of the green, mint green layer, so that anchors my title right there. Now there's a little gap between the scallop border and the F and finally, and that's going to bug me a little bit, you'll see, and I'll put something there. Now I've pulled out all the embellishments that came in the die cut kit, and I'm trying to see what I can do to embellish my page. I like the little die cut that says be kind to yourself. I also have the quote that says love, and I'm going to put that between the scallop and the finally. I'm trying to decide what other embellishments I want to use. I decide on the floral photo corners. I have the Stampin' Up! Foam dots here, and what I'm doing is I'm cutting the corners or the edges because it comes as one long strip. So I'm cutting those so I can use them into tiny little pieces and use them to add depth to my layout, to the picture and the layers that I have there. Next, I decide to glue down my photo corners, but you'll see I'm using the Tombow Mono multi-adhesive, and too much glue got on there on my first corner. So I'm sharing it with the second corner. And when I'm laying them down, I'm making sure that they're mostly on the photo so I could still see all the layers that I put under there. Next, I put a foam dot on the quote, love. And you'll notice that again is once again right above my head so that it draws the viewer to me surfing. I also decide to put the wording be kind to yourself. And now I'm looking at the stamp and trying to decide which stamp I'm going to use. And the one I'm going to use is, it says note to self. Now I'm putting it on an acrylic block and I'm trying to get the sticky parts away so that it'll stamp clearly. And now I'm trying to decide where I'm going to stamp it. But since I can't decide, I move on to something else and I'm looking for the date. I stamp the date using Stays On ink because this die cut is slickery. So I date stamp that and let it dry before I put adhesive on it to put it into the top left corner of my layers. I'm also trying to decide what else other embellishments can I use. Should I use the word stickers? Should I use the puffy stickers or the foam stickers? Or should I use the washi? I'm looking at that black arrow and trying to decide if I should use that on my picture. Once I stick it on the picture, it won't come off. So I need to make sure that I want it there and that it won't detract too much from the photo or the layout because it is a big black arrow. I decide to go ahead and put that on there, and now I'm gonna glue down the date on the label. You'll notice that everything kind of touches the label, the love quote, and finally. I also decide I'm gonna put a flower bunch from the die cut into the top left corner, and I'm looking for my foam dots to put behind the flower now. I struggle with it a little bit because the die cut is thicker than just regular the scrapbooking paper. I decided to put another one on the bottom, but the first flower grouping I had was too big and I didn't want it to be too heavy or heavier than the top left. So I used a smaller flower die cut and put another foam dot behind the flower. I struggle with that too. I should just put the foam dots down before I glue the flower down. Next, I'm going to glue down the wording that says be kind to yourself, and I decide to put that on the bottom left. And in real life, the yourself part comes up really high compared to the beginning of the wording, be kind, but I'm okay with that because it adds a lot of dimension. I decide to put some word stickers on there, and this one says happy place. I use my EK Success powder tool to take the stickiness off the ending of the sticker because I don't want that sticker to stick down onto the layout once I put the layout into page protectors. Then this one is this, and the next sticker on top is going to be remember. So it says remember this happy place, and then be kind to yourself. Now I did finally get to the stamp, and I'm using a VersaFine ink for this stamping. VersaFine is great for lettering or detailed stamping, so this works perfectly. And it says note to self, and then I decide to do my journaling. I'm using a graphic gray pen, and I wrote, it's okay to put myself first once in a while. Stephanie Black, Megan Bijan, and I did a week with Surf Diva. It reminded me why I loved surfing all those years ago. I was so happy being in the water that I caught waves was a bonus. And that's my journaling. Sometimes as moms, it's hard to remember that it's okay to put ourselves first sometimes. During that week of surf camp, my house went to hell in a handbasket. There was laundry everywhere. Kids didn't have socks to wear. The house was a hot mess, but I'm so glad I did that for myself. Now the girls and I are going to try to get in the water like once a week or so. So now that my journaling is done, I think, okay, what else does my page need? I only have 2 groupings and I like to have clusters of 3. So I take this washi tape and cut it in a slim piece, and I decide to put that on the bottom right-hand corner of my layout. So this will be my 3rd cluster for embellishments. I don't really want to put anything else there, so I just put a puffy sticker or a foam dot onto the black heart and put that down. Now there's going to be black in 3 places: the black arrow, the black word stickers, and now the black heart. Of course, I can't finish without my splatters, so I get my Felicity Jane box to splatter in, cover the picture up, and I'm using the Heidi Swap black ink and trying to do that in the top left corner and putting drops on the bottom right corner. I'm trying to get some big drops here, and you'll see I struggle with that. I just want big drops, but I don't want to place the drop because I want it to look like a drop. If I put the end of that ink cap down, then it'll just make a black drop, but it won't look like a drop with the edges kind of, splatting out. So that's what I'm struggling with. And I keep doing that even on the bottom. Next time I think I'm just going to have to buy some black ink. I take the Nuvo drops and I make 3 gem drops on the bottom right and the top left. After I do that, you'll see that I'm flicking it against the box, trying to flatten the circles a little bit. There you go. See, you can see that I'm trying to flatten those areas. And that's what I call done. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.